When an incredibly shy, heavily soft-spoken 16-year-old teenager gracefully, nervously walked onto the massive, brilliantly lit stage of America's Got Talent, millions of completely unsuspecting television viewers simply entirely expected a cute, highly forgettable vocal performance. They could not have been more completely, violently, terrifyingly wrong. The absolute, deeply terrifying massive acoustic rock monster that suddenly violently exploded from her fragile biological vocal cords completely shattered the entire theater. However, the deeply massive, absolute, terrifying secret behind this seemingly flawless organic television moment is something the greedy television producers absolutely never ever want the massive global audience to completely discover. Today, we are completely ripping open the highly classified corporate casting documents to thoroughly, brutally investigate why this specific brilliant young artist is absolutely not an accident. We are violently, heavily exposing the massive multi-million-dollar psychological master plan, the ruthless executive strategy, and the absolute terrifying truth regarding exactly why the massive television network is desperately, aggressively trying to permanently clone their greatest escaped viral asset, the massive corporate financial panic.
The highly lucrative reality television industry strictly relies on incredibly predictable psychological formulas to continuously actively generate massive global digital streaming revenue. When a wildly successful artist successfully completely breaks free from their highly restrictive broadcasting contracts, the massive corporate network instantly experiences profound, deep financial panic. The panicked executives desperately, urgently need to instantly, completely, permanently plug that massive future revenue hole. They absolutely, entirely cannot afford to completely lose the massive demographic of global viewers who are entirely, heavily, profoundly obsessed with the highly specific archetype of the incredibly shy, unassuming teenager who suddenly, violently, entirely explodes into a terrifying rock music monster on a massive, brightly lit television stage. This profound corporate desperation aggressively directly forces the highly secretive television casting department to actively violently scour the entire planet, specifically aggressively searching for a heavily carefully engineered replacement who can flawlessly perfectly replicate the exact same psychological thrill for the completely unsuspecting highly lucrative global audience. The radical career transformation blueprint. To completely, intimately understand this deeply ruthless industrial master plan, we absolutely must aggressively, thoroughly analyze the magnificent original television blueprint.
Years ago, a brilliant young female artist successfully shocked the entire world using this exact, specific behavioral contrast. However, her highly publicized, incredibly radical career transformation into a fiercely, completely independent, entirely uncompromising original artist actively, entirely, completely destroyed the massive network's highly lucrative long-term control over her brand. She successfully, violently proved that she absolutely no longer desperately needed the massive, abusive television machine to survive. By aggressively, completely, boldly choosing absolute artistic freedom over cheap commercial exploitation, she completely, permanently removed millions of future dollars from the massive executive table, silently, actively, violently forcing the heavily panicked television network to immediately, fundamentally initiate a deeply secretive, highly aggressive cloning operation to completely, entirely reclaim their massive lost viral territory. The carefully engineered television persona. The completely brilliant, highly televised introduction of 16-year-old Nene Royal entirely perfectly, flawlessly fits this highly classified, greedy corporate master plan. The massive elite television producers deeply, entirely, perfectly understand that raw biological vocal talent is absolutely never completely enough to successfully, violently dominate the modern digital algorithmic landscape. The young artist absolutely must possess a highly marketable, deeply contrasting emotional psychological narrative by heavily, strategically amplifying and intentionally aggressively broadcasting her extreme social anxiety and profound personal shyness during the highly edited pre-performance television interview. The massive network is deliberately, actively setting a highly specific emotional psychological trap. They are completely, actively, heavily, brutally manipulating the massive global audience into severely, constantly underestimating her, perfectly, meticulously, deliberately preparing the massive emotional stage for the highly calculated, completely devastating acoustic explosion that they absolutely, entirely, fundamentally know is secretly coming. The calculated heavy rock selection. The absolutely brilliant, heavily strategic television decision to specifically publicly perform the deeply dark, incredibly heavy political rock anthem Zombie is completely, absolutely, entirely not a random musical coincidence. This highly specific, massive musical selection is a carefully engineered psychological corporate weapon actively, perfectly designed to completely maximize the terrifying biological contrast. When an incredibly fragile, heavily soft-spoken teenager suddenly entirely unleashes a massive, deeply aggressive rock and roll vocal growl, the human brain actively experiences a massive, involuntary psychological shockwave of pure adrenaline.
The massive, elite corporate producers actively, specifically, urgently require this exact extreme level of aggressive acoustic violence to completely, perfectly, deeply replicate the massive global viral success of their famous original blueprint, entirely utilizing the deeply profound darkness of the famous song to completely, violently, aggressively shatter the completely innocent, fragile illusion they just heavily built. We absolutely must deeply, critically, carefully analyze the completely heavily choreographed emotional reactions radiating directly from the massive celebrity television judging panel. Highly powerful veteran executives are intimately, heavily involved in every single microscopic hidden detail of the massive television casting process, long before the young artist ever incredibly nervously walks onto the active stage. The deeply terrified, completely, heavily, profoundly shocked expressions permanently heavily painted on their massive, famous television faces are absolutely, entirely, fundamentally a crucial part of the massive theatrical illusion. They completely, actively, heavily, perfectly, entirely, fundamentally know exactly what terrifying vocal acoustic monster is secretly hiding inside that shy 16-year-old girl.
Their massively exaggerated public television shock completely, actively, brilliantly serves as a highly powerful psychological permission slip, silently, aggressively instructing the millions of human viewers at home to absolutely, entirely, completely feel the exact same profound level of manufactured disbelief. The devastating threat to original identity. The absolutely most deeply terrifying, highly concerning, tragic aspect of this massive corporate reality television cloning operation is the immense psychological danger heavily, entirely, directly placed upon the young artist's fragile teenage shoulders. By actively, brutally forcing a highly talented 16-year-old teenager into a completely, highly prepackaged, heavily, aggressively recycled industrial narrative, the massive reality television machine is actively, brutally, permanently suppressing her genuine original identity. Instead of actively, completely, freely, deeply nurturing her unique biological artistic soul, the highly greedy network executives are actively, entirely, completely, permanently, aggressively trying to aggressively, violently force her completely, perfectly straight into the massive, highly intimidating dark shadow of a completely different famous artist. This deeply toxic, incredibly highly restrictive corporate television environment frequently, permanently, violently, entirely destroys young, fragile artists before they even truly successfully begin their professional, independent musical journeys.
The algorithmic viral financial guarantee. From a strictly highly aggressive corporate television financial perspective, executing this massive musical cloning operation is a completely absolute guarantee of massive global revenue. The massive, highly complex digital algorithms that completely, heavily, actively control YouTube and various massive global social media platforms already completely, deeply, entirely, perfectly understand that millions of human beings are wildly, hopelessly addicted to this exact, specific psychological contrast. By entirely, completely, perfectly feeding the massive artificial intelligence system the exact same highly specific narrative psychological ingredients, the massive television network practically, completely, mathematically, deeply guarantees tens of millions of highly profitable viral video views. It is completely, absolutely, entirely, fundamentally not about discovering true original human art. It is completely, strictly, entirely about executing a flawless mathematical corporate formula to continuously, violently, aggressively extract massive advertising wealth from the completely unsuspecting massive global digital audience.
the imprisonment of the teenage star. Once the massive viral video explosion completely successfully undeniably occurs, the highly terrifying corporate television trap aggressively, violently, entirely snaps completely, totally shut.
The massive, powerful television network absolutely, instantly, completely, permanently, aggressively locks the young artist into an incredibly heavily restrictive, highly binding multi-year corporate management contract. Because she completely, heavily, brilliantly, successfully executed their highly specific, recycled, massive master plan, the massive executives now feel completely, absolutely, utterly entitled to completely, heavily, violently, aggressively control every single microscopic artistic aspect of her future musical career. They will entirely, absolutely, severely, violently force her to constantly, continuously, repeatedly, actively sing highly similar, aggressive, heavy rock cover songs, completely, entirely, permanently, actively, brutally preventing her from ever successfully, completely writing her own highly original music, or completely evolving beyond the massive, highly profitable television gimmick they heavily designed. The massive illusion of artistic rebellion. The completely massive, deeply profound, terrifying irony of this entire terrifying corporate television situation is that the heavy, aggressive rock music she is actively, fiercely, heavily singing, completely, aggressively, violently, originally represents absolute anti-establishment musical rebellion.
Yet, her massive, deeply aggressive, flawless acoustic performance is entirely, completely, heavily, secretly funded, perfectly, highly, meticulously organized, and completely aggressively broadcasted by one of the absolute largest, deeply most powerful corporate media monopolies on the entire planet. The massive global television audience entirely, completely, blindly, actively, truly feels like they are enthusiastically, loudly cheering for a highly brave, completely radical, independent rebel. While in absolute terrifying clinical reality, they are completely, actively, heavily applauding a highly controlled, incredibly meticulously engineered corporate asset, actively, successfully executing a deeply brilliant, massively expensive financial strategy, completely, perfectly, brilliantly disguised as raw teenage anger. The inevitable future independent escape. Ultimately, the absolute greatest, completely, entirely terrifying mathematical flaw in this massive, greedy corporate television cloning master plan is the completely, highly inevitable reality of human biological evolution. Just like the brilliant, famous original artist who successfully, brilliantly executed a massive, radical career transformation to achieve absolute total musical independence, this highly talented, brilliant new vocalist will absolutely, eventually, completely, entirely, fully realize her true, massive, intrinsic artistic value.
One day, the deeply massive, heavy, highly restrictive contractual chains of the reality television empire will absolutely no longer completely, actively, successfully hold her massive, brilliant artistic spirit entirely down. The massive network executives are currently entirely successfully, blindly, completely, arrogantly celebrating their brilliant, recycled, viral television victory, completely, entirely unaware that they have completely, actively, heavily, successfully, simply, entirely created yet another massive vocal acoustic monster who will absolutely, eventually, brutally turn around and completely destroy their restrictive empire.